from 3. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
Okay, now this is an older Tesla coil. If overused, it's prone to doing things like catching on fire. So bear with me, we have to give about a 20-second gap between zaps, so we've got about 10 seconds to go before the next zap.
What is it, Ainsley asking?
3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'll be zapping it about 3 or 4 more times, but this is a museum, so I'm going to have to inform first. This is a device called a Tesla coil. It was invented in the 1890s by Nikola Tesla to wirelessly transmit electricity. The coiled portion is basically a transformer, and a transformer is a device for boosting or lowering voltage. This is taking 240 volt electricity from the power grid and boosting the voltage so that the larger bolts coming off the top have a voltage of about 500,000 volts. Another thing is that here in the United States, we use alternating current electricity. When you plug something into the wall, one wire is positive and one wire is negative at one moment, next negative, positive, positive, negative, negative, positive. The wires keep switching back and forth or alternating, which is positive and which is negative, 60 complete cycles per second. The Tesla coil is basically boosting the frequency from 60 complete cycles per second to about 100,000 complete cycles per second. So the high voltage and high frequency allow for those big bolts to come off the top of the Tesla coil. But what Tesla was even more interested in is that it also allows electricity to come out across the radio spectrum. Tesla envisioned building 200-foot tall versions of these across the country. You'd have an antenna on your roof, you'd wirelessly receive power and use your appliances. Couple of issues. This is about 8 feet tall, it's pretty noisy. 200-foot tall version would be even louder, and with appliances like refrigerators that draw power 24/7, the big Tesla coils would have to operate 24/7. So imagine, it's 3 o'clock at night, you're trying to sleep and you're hearing this only louder all the time. Trying to sleep, hearing this, going a bit stir crazy, not a good situation. So that's what I consider to be the first problem. Second problem is that when you have bolts of electricity passing through the air, they tend to recombine oxygen molecules into ozone. And while ozone is wonderful in the upper atmosphere, protecting us from ultraviolet radiation, down here, ozone is one of the main ingredients of smog, something we do not need any more of in LA. But by far, the 2 biggest problems were that Tesla wanted to give electricity away for free. That's a hard sell to the power companies. And the biggest problem is that Tesla believed in a thing called the ether that he thought would allow this to transmit power out farther than it actually practically can because the ether doesn't exist. It was a 19th century concept that Einstein disproved. It's not there. This doesn't work as efficiently as Tesla envisioned. That having been said though, the Tesla coil itself was basically a precursor to radio. The early radios were based a lot off of this technology, very similar device. While that, he couldn't transmit power usefully with this, he invented the alternating current electric motor that you have in your air conditioner, washing machine, dryer, dishwasher. And he basically designed the alternating current power grid that we use today. That's his design. Okay, 2 final zaps. Counting down from 3. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I have one more zap to go, but any quick questions to fill this obnoxious gap that I otherwise have to take? Any questions?
It seems like a lot of things zap onto a bar of metal. Is that what's going on over there?
Okay, Yeah, there is a metal bar up there. This entire cage around this is a device called a Faraday. It's making sure none of the electricity leaves that enclosure. The reason for this is that, okay, before the renovation we didn't have a Faraday cage, and I could pass around a fluorescent tube, and when I pushed the button it would light up with no apparent connection. The problem being that we renovated the planetarium. Lots of sensitive electronic equipment there, worth hundreds of thousands, if not a couple $1 million. Bad idea frying that with this. So we had to cage our Tesla coil in. Okay, you guys ready for the final zap?
Yes.
Counting down from 3, 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a good afternoon, and if you have questions about this or any other exhibit, feel free to ask myself, ask my coworkers. That's what we're here for.
Thank you very much.